Hey, okay, I'm back on my own channel where I can't get kicked out or muted for no reason. Actually, I was only muted once. Yeah, that's fine. It was an okay time to be muted. But I was kicked out at the end because I called Matt Slick Scythenberger Gate, I guess. Oh well. So the mod guy decided to kick me. He didn't like that he didn't have any of the three. What was interesting to note is that I said, here are the three things I require, and they didn't ever try to offer me any of those three things. Said, oh, that's just subjective. That's just what you want. I'm like, okay, fine, give it to me. Why is it so hard to just give me what I want? So it's like, well, that's God's not going to do that because it's not going to bend to your will. Well, then God doesn't like me. God doesn't love me enough to do that. Love. If I love you and you say, "Hey, I want something," I'm like, "Here." Why would you not do that? Because you're above that? Yeah, I don't know. You gotta be in that realm to understand it. So, anyone else shocked that I got kicked finally? But it was off the air, so I guess it doesn't count. I see Iron Man's gonna watch. Come on, Monday God Test. I see you're gonna watch, but are you here? Maybe I have to post this. I don't know what I'm doing. That's even normal. Oh, well. Come on. There. That should. No, it shouldn't be privately. It should be publicly, you stupid Google Plus. I wasn't done talking. I wanted to answer questions. Dang it. They had some good questions. I was trying to answer the best of my ability. What the heck? Let's just do public, whatever. There. Alright. It's there. I don't know what else to do. Maybe I should go to YouTube and do that. I'm glad I didn't play Side 10 Atheist drinking game. Matt kept putting his hands behind his head. I would have had to take so many shots. Let's see. Let's look at the comments. Let's see. No, that's not it. Nope. Nope. I don't even know what the hell's going on.
Hey,
Oh, hey, I got somebody.
I'm
That
just somebody?
Karen? No, wait, sorry. No, that's Mindy. I'm sorry, I couldn't. I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing. Did this post right, or what am I doing? I don't know.
You sent me an invite, yeah.
Okay, event is over plus deconverted man. Yeah, we lost. Let me explain to this guy what happened. We lost the at some point, I guess. It was fun. So did you hear all the stuff I did there?
No, I'm sick at the moment, so I was sleeping, and then my phone beeped, and I saw you invited me, and I'm like, oh, he's inviting me to a hangout, so this should...
Oh, I just had this great talk with Slick.
Oh, how'd that go?
I'm trying to do my own hangout right now. Please come if you can.
Hello, Iron Man.
Iron Man's here. Okay, I got. Apparently, it sort of worked. I'm trying to see if it's public or not because it said it was private. Alright. Okay, that's other comments. I don't need. Well, whatever. Can you talk, Iron Man?
His mic is still muted at the moment. I think he might just be setting it up.
I don't know. Yeah, we spent an hour waiting for Bible thumping Wingnut to try to get the thing to work. He couldn't do it. He called up a friend or whatever, and he hosted it. But as a moderator, this is the thing. If you're going to moderate, he kept jumping in. It's like, look, you can only do that if we start insulting each other, then fine, But he started asking me questions and making comments. I'm like, look, you're the moderator. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to, I'm talking to Matt. I'm not having, it was really kind of awkward in that way. I only got muted once, and eventually I did get kicked out, but after the thing had ended. And I totally deserved getting kicked out, too. I did. Because I said, well, congratulations, Matt Slick, you're now Site 10 Burger Game. They kicked me at that point. I thought that I had to say something silly. I had to. But, I didn't have to. But all that's off air, so nobody's going to hear any of that, I guess.
Well, now, because you're live.
Yeah, we weren't live. Well, I mean, the people in there. But the one guy had a great question, and I tried to answer it. I don't know if he understood my answer. He asked, because I said logic can change, and then they had Matt Slick had a problem with that, and this guy did, and I said, look, and see if this makes sense to you, because, you're a good person to bounce this off because you didn't hear it. If tomorrow we found out that the moon was made out of cheese, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do we keep saying that the moon's made out of rocks?
No, because that would be illogical and factually unsound.
Right. So if tomorrow we find out that because of quantum physics, the law of identity doesn't work anymore, because you know how quantum physics is all freaking weird, right?
Yeah.
A particle can be, a wave and a not wave, and so if we say, you know what, this rule and logic, it's just not matching with reality anymore. We need to revise it, revision it, fix it, whatever. And they were saying, oh, well, if logic can change, then it's just everything goes out the window. I'm like, no, we change it to conform with reality. How is that a problem? Is that a problem? Am I wrong?
No, because to do anything less would make you a liar, to be honest.
Yeah, I was like, look, we've changed it in the past. We've changed logic in the past. And they just totally didn't accept that. It's like, oh, no, it's always...
Well, there was a time when it was logical to own slaves and women were property.
Well, that's a different kind of logic.
No, but I'm just using that as just a base example of things that have just changed in our society.
Right. Well, that's ethics, not... Iron Man, can you talk at all? I have no mic. I am at work. Oh,
he's at work. Hey, Gary.
Hey.
Gary's here. Hey, Gary, are you surprised I was finally kicked out?
No, he had no... You had him by the short hairs all throughout it. I mean...
I got kicked out in the off... Were you there when it was off air, or...?
I was in the middle of an argument with another idiot.
Okay.
Some guy named Lenzo, or...
You're one of my YouTube subscribers, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, because I don't know if I have you in the right circle. I gotta have everyone in the right circle. I'm being obsessed.
I'm new to this, so...
I must have everyone in the circles. So, Gary, I'm gonna repeat what I just said to Mindy, and it's gonna be boring for everyone watching this later, but you didn't hear it. Gary, I want to see if I'm wrong, okay? So let me ask you, are you okay with the idea that logic can change?
With new information, yes.
Thank you. They couldn't wrap their minds around it.
Only a fool knows everything, because his foolishness tells him so.
Well, they said, what is truth? And I said, whatever conforms with reality. And they said, how do you know what's real? I'm like, I don't know. I assume it's real. We all do. We don't have a choice. This is the way we are, right? And I said, it's just a stupid philosophical thing. I don't care if we're in the Matrix. If we are, we'll find out. And if we never find out, whatever. We're real until proven otherwise. And they couldn't get around that I wanted one of three things. They wouldn't just give me one of the three things. I don't think I was asking for much, but apparently I was, because it's all subjective. I asked for empirical evidence, or a repeatable test, or a logically coherent argument. Is any of those three things unreasonable?
No, their defense basically is, how dare you use logic when we're being irrational and weird?
Because I am willing to be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe everything I thought about skepticism is wrong. But what do I do now? You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, what do I do if that's true? Because now I have nothing. I have no system, right? I
But
need
it allows you to have this great open thing to explore, which
It's
is
like you have
something
to
we
assume
don't
our
have.
system and be in our system in order to know that there's an absolute truth so you can have our system. I'm like, no.
First, get the lobotomy, and then you're in.
I guess. So Gary, you're new to YouTube or just to the Google Plus thingamajigger?
I'm new to anything involving a computer. So.
Oh, okay. Well, welcome to the internets. There's porn. Beware. I'm just letting you know.
And there's lots of trolls and stalkers.
Oh yeah, I was dealing with
I'm
one.
I stalked Mindy, but she was just too good for me. I had to give up.
Oh, I'm not too good for you, darling. You were amazing.
No, I got too many problems in my head. You don't want my problems. I unman laws. Oh, there was this funny picture. This is unrelated, but it's. I get these different things, and so you know what WTF is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, they had worship, training, and friends as banners on this church. They said WTF, and I was like, really? Come on, guys. Thought it was kind of fun. And I was like,
Yeah.
Well, next time you do a debate, hun, let me know and I'll moderate for you.
it wasn't a debate, see, because they want Matt Slick to answer questions.
Well,
But what he tries to turn it into a debate, and I'm like, look, this isn't a debate. I'm not coming in here with syllogisms. I'm not coming in here with precision language. I'm going to mess things up because this is just a normal conversation. If Matt wants a debate, then he needs to say it's a debate.
No matter
That's
how
why.
many times they get their ass kicked, they polish up the turds that is their ideas and say,
Kasumi!
I won!
Kazumi! I love you, Kazumi. Where have you been?
Hey.
Zoom?
I haven't talked to you. You know what? I gotta apologize, Kasumi. I haven't talked to you for a good long time. I have no excuses. I just don't. And I really wanted to do something with you at some point. I was just trying to think of what I could do.
It's all good. Ooh, you want to see what you can do to me? Okay.
Dude,
Ooh,
well,
so interesting.
I just
Place.
said I wasn't
Calling
good
up the
enough.
body now.
I don't know. You have to shave that beard first.
Not
No.
the beard. The beard's epic.
It's just not gonna work out. Only one of us can have a beard.
Somebody has to be the alpha.
Yeah, well, no, but see, the whole thing of a gay guy, you have to have a beard. Wah, wah, wah.
I didn't know that was a prerequisite.
Kasami gets it. He gets the joke, right? A beard, you know, you have the woman and she's your beard. Yeah.
Actually, beard is
Oh.
a term that is used for a gay person using a heterosexual person to cover up their homosexuality.
That's what I'm saying. That's why it was a joke. Oh, never mind. I killed the joke. Forget
You
it.
really killed that. I'm sorry.
I give up.
Fire.
I think it was it was something. Oh, it was if Kasumi, if you would want to try to talk about the Karm websites, the gay page that they have, and go through what's wrong with that. There's just a few things, just a few that you might disagree with.
the what site?
The
What?
the Karm webpage. Oh, it says great things. You'll love it, man. You won't get mad at all.
Harm?
Karm, Karm.
Where do you start and how do you stop?
So Gary, I don't know. Karm, yes, Karm.org. That's where Matt Slick's from. He lives there, apparently. I don't know. But he said it was okay. Now, see, Matt's a good guy. I mean, I disagree with him, but he is a good guy for letting me continue to say that it is Matt Slick's fault. He totally said that he's okay with me saying that. I asked him, I said, can I say that? He's like, yeah. I'm like, all right. I'm going to keep saying it. It's a new meme. So anything goes wrong, ever, Matt Slick's fault from now on. Was it okay?
Designated blamer.
Got it.
Kazum, I've always wondered, how do you say your name? Because I'm hearing
Say it right. You say it right.
Kazoo.
because I'm
It's-
hearing impaired. So just the way it looks.
Yeah. It's Kazum, but it's so you've been pronouncing it right, and Deconverted is pronouncing it wrong. Yes, well, not Kazum, but it's Kizum. But yeah,
with a soft
it hmm?
with a soft K.
Soft K.
Kazoom,
Okay.
not a hard K.
It's from Flintstones.
I'm French.
His name is from the Flintstones. I'm telling you, man.
No, it's not.
Yes,
No.
it is. There was
that
that
would be
magic.
Kazoo.
That's yeah. Okay, Kazoo. Whatever. Fine. Be right.
It sounds very close though.
Yeah. See, I was right in my own mind. So okay. So Gary got frozen. No, Gary. I wanted to
No.
ask Gary. Are you a skeptic thingy, atheist, agnostic, etc.? What are you?
I was a deist my whole life because I know history, and I wanted nothing to do with Christianity. Christian teaching and Christian history are opposite ends to one another.
And you wanted some higher power, but not that.
Right, and then every time I ever saw an atheist on the news or some channel, more often than not, they like picked the grumpiest son of a bitch they could find. And then one day I get on YouTube, I'm looking for comedy, and I come across Why People Laugh at Creationists. And finally, hey, there's a atheist that makes sense. It doesn't act like he has a stick up his ass.
Hmm.
And the more I listened, the more I liked, and the more I agreed.
I wish I could do something that good. I really do.
My love of deism basically centered around my love of mental gymnastics. I came up with a lot of gibberish to justify deism.
Hmm.
No, not so much.
No, not so. Yeah. So now I'm gonna say that now, Kasum, you keep looking like you're talking, but you're not talking. I'm so confused. What's going on? He's like,
I
no.
haven't opened my mouth at all.
Yeah, you did. In my brain. Maybe you're eating. I don't know. I wanted to. Okay, because I said this to Gary, so now it's a new person. I have to say this again. It's gonna bore everyone else. I have to say that part too. Okay. Am I wrong? Okay. Can logic change?
Well, someone's personal logic, the things that they would base logic on, can change.
I mean, formal logic, the systems, the law of identity, the disjunctive syllogism, that sort of stuff.
I mean, well, I mean, sometimes what we know of facts can change. I mean, it just the element of the actual logic itself. I guess it doesn't change, but it's. I really liked what Tony Berno had said on the post that I had responded to. I wish I could say it like he did. Maybe I can find that post somewhere. But I really liked his response to it.
Okay, because you were asking some questions on my 1 Minute Skeptic about it, where I was saying there's only one logic as far as what I'm talking about. In formal logic, there's only one system, but it can change, and it has changed in the past. If we find out that reality is this way and not that way, we have to change it to fit the new data.
Yeah, and then you have you'll have different people that see different sides of something, and they're all using logic.
Well, that's something.
They're all using logic for their arguments, but each one of them still has a completely different view. We can't say that one of them, is less logical than the other because they've come to a different conclusion.
Yeah, you're using a different definition of logic than I am. I'm talking about informal logic that has certain rules to it that we're supposed to follow.
Example you use.
I'll be honest. I don't know what that means.
Okay,
An
that's all right.
absolute, maybe?
No, okay. Informal logic is it's a whole bunch of different. I can't summarize it, but it's a bunch of different rules that we agree upon. Like A equals A. It's either A or B, not B. Therefore, it's A. That's a disjunctive syllogism. It's basically if the light is on, then it's not off. And so these rules match reality. We saw that these rules work in reality, so we made a system to match what reality was. And that doesn't change unless we find out something about reality that we didn't know. And then we have to change it to fit.
Deconverted. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Iron Man
Go
says,
explain it.
if this is from Iron Man, if it is system and parameter changes, the logic therefore changes with it.
Right,
And
exactly.
the example that Deconverted Man used with me was if we get new technology and find out that the moon is really made of cheese, are we going to continue to say the moon is made of rock, or are we going to change the logic based on new evidence and say that the moon is made of cheese?
And with Matt Slick, when I was talking to him, as well as the moderator, they said, well, if logic can change and then blue skies can be the sleeves or some nonsensical phrasing. And I'm like, what? I mean, if that's how reality was, then yeah, that would be the way reality was. But, you know, they couldn't accept that things can change because we find out that stuff is different than what we thought it was.
What about when you like I said, what about when you have a number of people that have come together, they're all very intelligent, they all have looked at this subject, but they all look at it very differently, and they all have like for instance, let's bring up an extreme example again. You know, some of them will be arguing that the moon is what it is now. Some would be arguing that the moon is made out of a different material. Some might argue they might have some sort of rational reason why they say it's made of cheese, right? Each one of those people are using logic for their arguments. They're being logical, and if you try to break apart their arguments, you'll find logic is being used for all of them, but yet they're all looking at this thing very differently. So there isn't one version of logic. There just isn't. There's.
I think we're having a natural language issue with that. So I don't really. I get what you're saying, and I can't explain it better to you. I guess I would have to reference a book for you to read or whatever, and that's not really necessarily going to resolve it, because I think what you're saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that we have different ways of looking at the world. Like I might say, you know, you're not wearing a shirt, but maybe somebody else thinks you are. Maybe it's just a flesh-colored shirt that you're wearing. I don't know. But it looks like you're not wearing a shirt to me.
He's wearing a halter top.
Yeah, or whatever. Right? He's wearing some sort of shirt that doesn't have whatever. So in that is an assumption I made based on certain things. And Mindy, why do I always screw your name up? Mindy, right?
Midnight.
Why do I do that? I'm sorry. I should.
Because you're on my personal Google Plus, and I had to put my name as Mindy because they said Midnight Goddess isn't a real name.
Right. Okay. So whatever. I'm just gonna keep calling you Mindy because I don't know.
I'll answer to Mindy. We've been friends.
Like I'm Dan. They called me Dan. It was great. I loved it. I showed my lobster. I said I was a lobsterist. It was beautiful. I'm sad that Finite won't be here. He didn't. Maybe he will be. Anyways, what was I saying? It's Matt Slick's fault. Okay, but that's based on some assumptions. Kasumi's not wearing a shirt. That's based on a few assumptions. We could make a logically coherent argument that you're wearing no shirt. Within the system of logic, if it's valid, the conclusion follows, and that's it. If there's a fallacy in there, we have to be skeptical of the conclusion. That's how the system works. It's like mathematics.
Okay.
1 + 1 is 2. You might do weird math and make 1 + 1 equal something else, but normally it's going to equal 2. So I think
a poor way of maybe wording this might be, you're talking about, this is really badly worded, so I apologize in
No, go
advance.
ahead. No, I'm trying to
The,
explain.
the philosophy of logic itself.
Yes.
That itself, that concept, doesn't change, but the facts that you use logic with can change, which will
Right.
change your argument. But logic, the philosophy of logic itself, I can see that that doesn't change, because you can apply that to any kind of an argument. So
Right.
if you're talking about that, yes, but I think you've brought it up kind of strangely by saying that logic can change with the new information. Well, the concept of logic itself doesn't change with new information.
You know
The
what?
concept of logic, the philosophy of logic, but the type of logic that someone is using, it's hard because there's these two separate things,
I wish you had been there talking for me, because I think you said it way better than I did. But I mean, I think I still communicated what I was trying to get to you. Obviously, I mean, there's no way for me to know that you understand what I was saying, but I think you did say what I was trying to say. So you did get what I was trying to say, even though I think you said it better.
Right on.
All right.
It used to be logical to assume that tomatoes were poisonous because it's in the same family of the nightshade plant, until someone ate it.
Yeah, that
So,
that
Very
is
true.
actually very good analogy. I can't even think of words right now. It's Iron Man's fault. It's all your fault.
no, Matt Slick. I thought we all agreed.
I changed my mind.
Deconverted. Can I change the topic slightly? 'Cause
Yeah, whatever. Talk about whatever. I don't care anymore.
with the people that are in here, I might add some answers.
This is live though, so just be aware.
That's fine. I'm perfectly okay. I think it's actually kind of a good thing when they see people questioning and wanting answers.
You need to be shirtless too. I'm sorry. Sorry. Go ahead.
Pardon?
Nothing. I didn't say anything. Go ahead. Say what you're gonna say.
No, what did you say?
I said Kasumi's shirtless. That's what I said.
Bullshit. But anyway.
I'm
So-
bad.
I'm somebody who was raised in the church, the Roman Catholic faith, as well as in a spirituality more based on nature and giving back, and more kind of the Native American approach, or Native Canadian in my case, approach to things. And I'm having a very hard time trying to come to terms with what I'm seeing in the Abrahamic religions versus what fits with my moral code, and I'm not really sure how to resolve these problems, because I don't necessarily follow any particular faith, but every time I start to ask questions, I get people saying, oh, well, you're just mentally ill, so I'm not going to bother with you. So I'm trying to figure out if it's normal to question this kind of stuff, or is it just because I'm schizophrenic that I can't come to terms with some of this reasoning that people are putting across. Like, do you get what I mean?
Well, questioning things, whatever it is, seems pretty normal or average, however you want to put that.
Good form of self-defense, I say.
You're asking them questions, and they're saying, "Well, you're just asking those questions because X." Is that?
The response I typically get is, "Oh, you're mentally ill. You're bipolar. You're schizophrenic. Your opinion doesn't matter." Or, "I'm not dealing with you because you're mentally ill. I'm not going to answer your questions because you're
Right.
mentally ill."
Yeah, it's an
Well,
add-on.
that's bullshit. That's bullshit. It
now
doesn't matter what kind of mindset someone has. If it's a rational question, they shouldn't just answer it like that. It's crap. It's a cop out.
Because I'm in the situation where I'm going, am I questioning because I'm mentally ill, or am I mentally ill because I'm questioning?
No,
You know?
neither.
No.
If you have mental issues. That's the way your brain chemistry is. It's not your fault. It's genetics, and that's nobody's fault. And there are drugs that can fix that to some degree or the other, and that's going to continue to change as we learn more about the brain and all that. It doesn't change whatever is true, or whatever questions or whatever ideas you have are just as valid as anyone else. I mean, it's like, basically it's an ad hominem attack, because, like, for example, a serial killer in a prison writing a paper, on why killing is wrong. Well, you can't write that because you're a serial killer. Well, no, maybe he's the most qualified person to write it, because, you can't just dismiss an idea because of what a person is. I mean, for example, I'll use another extreme. The KKK, I hate them, everyone hates them, they should go away. Okay, but if they had an argument and they presented it and it was logically valid, I would be like, yeah, I hate you guys, but dang it, you got it right. That's right. It doesn't matter who's presenting
clock
it.
is right twice.
Yeah, the person or group is irrelevant. What matters is the argument, or the questions, because they're still valid. So even though you might have issues in your brain, who doesn't? I think everyone does to some degree. I could be wrong. I don't know, but that doesn't mean anything. We're all screwed up in our own ways. So don't let them win when they're not using sound reasoning themselves.
Well, I mean, like, look at, if people want to make those kind of judgments, I mean, how about even some of the most terrible people out there who have said some of the greatest things? Like, for instance, let's see, the writer is the engineer of the human soul. I believe in one thing only, the power of human will. That was Joseph Stalin. Let's see, look down at me and you see a God. Look straight at me and you see yourself. The real strong have no need to prove it to the phonies. That was Charles Manson.
Right.
I mean, there's even the worst of people can say great things, and we shouldn't. I mean, it's interesting that I don't even know where I'm going now. That's all right. I just was hoping that this might be helpful. Maybe
good,
it wasn't.
That was great, Kazumi. I love those quotes. I had no idea that those people. Where are you getting this? Is there like a evil people good quotes website?
I went and searched out for a little while, but there is one site that says something like what is it? 10 wonderful quotes from terrible people. Had a few of them, but I wanted to look into some more, so I kept going to quotation sites to try to find some more.
I feel like we're leaving out here.
If you want more really good...
No, I'm just learning. Listening, learning.
Whatever.
If you want some really good Charles Manson information, I did my sociology university paper on Charles Manson and how he used the teachings of St. Thomas Aquinas to influence the cult behavior that he had in his followers.
Wow.
He perverted...
brainwashing religion.
He took the teachings of St. Thomas Aquinas, who gave up everything to live with nature and help the poor and help the sick, and perverted it to make people kill people. So all you have to do is look at the teachings of St. Thomas Aquinas, and you've got Charles Manson.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think one therapist told me, or maybe I heard this on Star Trek. Now I don't know, because whatever. if you can think the question, "Am I crazy?" that you're not crazy. I've heard this before.
Catch-22.
I know, yeah, and I'm like, I don't know if that's true or if that's just a saying that got propagated, but I remember hearing that. I don't know if anyone else has ever heard that. But.
I heard that in a quote from a movie, actually, with he played Hannibal Lecter. What was his name?
Anthony Hopkins?
Thank you. Anthony Hopkins plays this schizophrenic mathematician, and his...
Is that Beautiful Mind?
Yes. and his daughter is wondering if she's crazy. And the craziest people will never question if they're crazy or not.
Right.
Yeah, it's Catch-22, one of the best movies I've ever seen. Sort of like a mental train wreck. You just watch it anyway.
Yeah, but Catch-22 is, yeah. But Gary, you were saying you had done a lot of searching and questioning and reading and stuff like that, or did I mishear you?
Yeah, I question everything.
Okay,
See,
well,
I was trying to come to terms with my rage issues,
mm-hmm.
so I had to look inward. I had to do that if I was ever going to evolve to be something better than an angry beast. So yeah,
Well,
I
maybe
question everything.
I could ask you a couple questions if you don't mind.
Oh yeah, please do.
Okay, one of the big things that I haven't always questioned and wondered is why are people so hateful when they believe if they're, because the way I was taught about Jesus is that he is love, he is compassion, he is nurturing, he is kindness. So if people are saying that they're following the path of Jesus, why are they some of the most vile people that I've seen? Like, for example, um, like the Salem witch trials, um, the Spanish Inquisition, you know, where people of my heritage were tortured and killed because we believed in nature rather than a deity. And so if they're so good and righteous and loving, how can they kill so many innocent people and not blink?
It's like a gambler's obsession doubling down on a really bad bet. God will really love me if I do this, and if we mess up, God will save us all. Don't worry, it'll just bring us all closer to God. It's it's complete utter madness. For me to really understand it, I might be a little too close to that match, that that lunacy. Is that helpful at all?
Yeah, it does help a little. Like, and then there's the science stuff that I don't understand. Um, like everybody brings up the law of thermodynamics, I think it is, and I've never understood that. Like, I've never understood how that applies to religion or faith, or how it disputes the existence of a god or not God.
Neither do I. I'm sorry. I just look at religion's history, and I see very little evidence of anything divine other than mankind's desire. It's what they want, it's what they have to do to get what they want. And if they crush people along the way, God will clean up the mess.
But how does that sit with someone's ethics and moral codes? Like, I can't even like yell at someone without feeling guilty. Like, how do how can people kill and still say God's going to forgive them?
Hmm. Rage can get okay. I can only speak from my perspective. Rage has put me close to that point more than once. You get this euphoric feeling and the endorphins hit really hard. That it gives you a false sense of clarity that you can't be wrong because you feel this passion, because the passion can't be wrong because you feel this great. It's pure and utter madness.
And then if someone thinks they're righteous in these things, then that's even more so.
Yeah. It's a circular reasoning, really, just like religion.
I do appreciate that you guys are not that you are trying to answer some of this stuff for me, because this is like the first time I haven't been brushed off as being crazy. So,
Oh,
like,
trust me, I'm pretty close. If I'm not as bad as you, I'm probably very, very close. So we're in the same boat here.
I
well,
can't count how many times people have called. Oh, sorry.
I want you to know that I appreciate it, because this is the first time that I haven't been brushed off as crazy when I'm trying to figure stuff out. So, because I don't know.
I'm sorry people have treated you that way.
Yeah, people suck sometimes.
And it's hard enough being a woman on YouTube, and then being like a quote unquote crazy woman on top of it. You get a lot of condescension from the other YouTubers.
Have you ever talked to Molecula? Can't pronounce his name.
I'm not familiar with him. No.
Oh, I gotta give you their channel, because they have oh, there she is. Oh yeah, it is. There they are. Please do. If it's still going on, she'll hop on. Sorry, I keep screwing that up. My brain. I'm sorry, they're transsexual, and it screws with my brain, because I gotta get that in my head right, you know? That's like totally my issue, and you know, because like they're a woman physically, but you know, he wants to be a man. He wants to be called he. And
so you respect that and call him he.
Right, and so I'm like, but I keep, you know, I'm trying to get it.
But you're making me.
You're trying.
Yeah, it's totally. I don't know what it is. It's not like I'm scared of it or I don't understand it. It's just like
There's a clash in your mind.
yeah, it's like she's a woman, so she. But no, even though she has a woman's body, it's a man. So just call him him. But you know, it's like what is it called? Oh, when
Morphic disorder.
No. You get two things that don't agree in your brain. Oh my.
Cognitive dissonance.
Disjunctive. No. Bleep. Cognitive dissonance. Thank you. Bleep. Our Pokemon's here. Pokemon God is here. Yay. Zillith. I would totally worship the Pokemon God. I was wrong. There is a God I would worship.
Sorry, somebody is going to have to look in the camera and pronounce the name so I can read their lips.
What? Zillith, you mean? I don't know if there's...
Zeliath?
I can't read your lips, DM. You're not on camera.
I know, because... Hold on, I'm trying to... It's not on high enough. There. Oh.
Is it Zeliath?
Ziliath.
Ziliath. Okay.
You be on camera? How do... Somebody else say that. I'm too lazy.
Ziliath.
Yeah, hello.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm hearing impaired, so I rely quite a bit on lip reading. So I'm trying my best.
Okay, Mindy, there. Click that, add her... Him! Just a second. Add him to your circles and talk to him. There. Brain is gone now.
You need more sleep.
It's Matt. Look, I just got kicked out of Matt Slick's thing because I totally deserved it though at the end.
What happened?
Well, okay. Well, at some point we lost the thing. They went off, so we went off air. We don't know when exactly that happened because of technical whatever. I mean, it wasn't anyone's fault. So we were doing the after show where, you know, just random people were coming in asking questions or whatever. And so they kept going after me. I'm like, look, I just want to answer the questions for people that are asking the questions. You answer the question, I'll answer the question to the best of my ability. I thought that was fair, but they started going after me again, and it's like, look, we already had our talk. So you went to the whole, how do you know reality is real, blah, 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 and I'm like, you have to assume it. We all do. And he was like, "Oh, you can't know reality's real," and I'm like, "Yeah, you know what? Congratulations, your site didn't work again," and I got kicked out.
You know what? When people start that kind of rationality, I just want to leave anyway. So.
Word games is all they have to prove God exists. We need more than that. I'm no mindless sheep, and I have no desire to become one.
No, like I don't think I could ever be in an Abrahamic religion. I can't
Well, they asked.
put it in. Like I can't. Like it doesn't make sense to me enough. And like deconverted, you know this. Like my father is a homosexual, and I can't follow something that's going to tell me that my father is an abomination. Like because that's my dad. You know, like he's one of the most influential people in my life. Like I can't come to terms with something that's going to tell me he's wrong or he's bad, because he's not. There's nothing bad about him.
No one should ever have to apologize for loving someone.
Absolutely.
You'd be surprised how much I've had to.
You should never have done that. You never do that. Be fearless in your love.
You can't help who you love, I don't think. I mean, can you control that? I don't think so.
No, and
Well, what is between consenting adults and family members? I mean,
Well, but I mean, okay, yeah, you can love someone that's legally inappropriate to love as long as you don't act on it, you know, whatever.
well, that's not necessarily love, but yeah.
Well, it might be to them. I don't know.
I didn't mean like I love my dad in the sense of partner. I meant he's my father.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he's
exactly.
influential, and I love him. So for someone to tell me that he's going to burn for eternity for being born, you know, a certain way, I can't make that work in my head, because he's a good man. He's a teacher. We've taken in foster children for 30 years. You know, he's faithful. He was faithful to my mother for the 40 years they were married. You know, like, I have 7 brothers and sisters. Like, I can't come to terms with that being a bad man. Like, he's never done anything to warrant that title, bad man, except to be born gay.
I mean, as a gay man, or mostly gay, I should say, these things that you're talking about are things that I really had to come to terms with way back for me, because it just, you can't. What? Oh, so my existence is bad? No, I'm sorry. I had to throw out the Bible. I just had to toss it away. Just be like, no, this goes against too many people. There's too many things in this that don't make any sense. And yeah, I think it was probably 16 or 17. I was just like, nope, done with that. Came out of the closet at 17.
That's awesome. Like, I haven't been practicing Christian since my early teens, but I've followed the spiritual path that I was taught, because I want there to be something for my children and their children to have at the end of the day. I don't want to take everything and not give back. And, like, I've been accused of being a witch because of it.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, though. You shouldn't even feel bad about being called a witch. You shouldn't even feel bad about that, because there's nothing wrong with someone being a witch in a pagan sort of thing. There's nothing wrong with it. Look, if you look up what that label actually means, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just some method of them trying to degrade you. But if you actually look into it, it's like it's not even really a degradation.
No, which religions that allow for witchery predates Christianity, don't it?
Yeah, like, because we're part of my family's Parisian Gypsy, and we date back before Christianity. Like, You know, it's
Right.
the Druids and the pagans and the gypsies. We were all here before the quote-unquote Son of God. And another thing, if God is so powerful, why did he need a human woman to give birth to himself in order for himself to exist? And if homosexuality is so wrong, why did Jesus have two fathers and a mother who didn't sleep with either of them?
Yeah, you know what I came up with? Nah, I won't do it. Never mind.
No, these are like legitimate questions I have. Like, this is, you know, like, it sounds funny, but like, it's legitimate questions. If it's such a bad.
Question everything.
The prophecy.
It's the only way we grow.
Sorry, I don't want to tangent now. We're too many things in my brain. Sorry. Okay. First of all, if Molecular will back me up on this, and my brother has looked at it somewhat, but he hasn't done as much as Molecular, and I looked into it too. The concept of hell isn't in the Bible. It's not. It's not there. It was added in later. It wasn't originally there. Not in the Jewish thing, and not in the early Christian church. It came in later to scare people into it. Because that's all they have. They have fear tactics, and they have the carrot and they have the stick. If you do it, you get the carrot. If you don't, we whack you with the stick.
Wasn't it introduced after the Divine Comedies? Divine Comedy? What was it called?
Yeah, I know my fan is making noise. I'm sorry. I'm trying to be cool.
I'm sorry I cut you off.
No, it's my problem.
Dante's Inferno. Wasn't that hell really was religion after Dante's Inferno was
Yeah. That's when they introduced the concept of hell, I believe.
You know what? Hey, Greek is here. Epi. He might know some. I don't know how much he's studied, because Catholicism has a very different approach to hell than most Christianity. So he might have a totally different take on this.
We call it marriage.
No, what is hell? Oh, you call it marriage. Oh.
I thought it was Detroit.
That was funny.
I thought. Oh, actually, I just came by here for 5 minutes. I just wanted to. I heard what happened with Slick, and I know he doesn't consider me a true Christian, but I'd like to apologize for his behavior.
Oh no, he was fine. I think that, you know, he's a passionate guy. He was nice enough to let me have fun with you know, saying, like, I asked him, can I continue to blame Matt Slick for everything? And he was like, yeah, sure. He was totally cool with that. You know, we agreed on, you know, that to a degree on that there was the whole, you know, Christians not taking their kids to the, you know, the hospital. That was bad. And he says that's what my website's trying to promote them to do that. That's, you know, and so we agreed on that. We agreed on a lot of things. So, you know, I think he's a decent human being. We just don't see eye to eye, and there's no way for me to get him to understand my view, and I don't know how I could have done it differently. I really don't. I think Epi, having debated you and talked to you in non-debate format, I think you understand my view better than Matt did. Now, I don't know why that is, but for whatever reason, you're able to do that. And for whatever reason, he isn't. That doesn't make him a bad person. You don't have to apologize for him. I'm fine. I don't care. They booted me out after in the after show. Totally deserved it. I totally deserved that.
Well,
but thank you for feeling like you had to apologize. That really, you know what? That says a lot about you, Epi. You're a good guy.
Oh, thank you.
Except you're wrong. You're wrong about everything. Just
you.
I don't know you, but I think it's awesome that you came in to do that. That shows a lot of character.
Yeah. I never liked calling myself an apologist, but I think I've become one inadvertently. So when other apologists screw up, I kind of want to apologize for that. Plus, actually, he doesn't even consider me a real Christian, so I'm not even sure why I'm doing this. But anyway, I'll quickly detail the Catholic conception of hell. So hell is whatever component hell does have. It is not excuse me, belch. So the doctrine of hell is fairly interesting in terms of how it's developed. People usually have this view of hell being a place of fire for burning you, and it got that way through Dante's Inferno and various Western Latin imagery. But in its original conception, that came from the conception in Matthew, where Christ talks about the fire that's never quenched, and he was actually talking about a place that was outside Jerusalem. I forget the exact name, but it was
Megiddo?
actually a place. I'm sorry?
Megiddo?
Megiddo, maybe. Let's see. Jerusalem, hell, garbage. Jerusalem, hell, Jerusalem. Oh, Gehenna. Gehenna was the translation used, but it was the dump where people burned their garbage outside of Jerusalem. And that's where Jesus used the imagery from. But it was just that, imagery. It was only later when people started taking far more literally than it intended to be. But whatever conception hell does have, it's eternal torment. But torment, people also confuse this one, is not equivocal to torture. So torture is where you're receiving punishment, mostly of a physical nature, and it's inflicted upon you. Torment is more of an internalized feeling. This is a feeling you get of this torment could be anything from depression to regret to sorrow. It doesn't have to be
Separation from God.
Separation from God, that kind of thing. Yeah, it doesn't imply something that's.
Is hell place?
So another interesting thing, people usually think of the afterlife as and I'm going to turn my camera on because I like making this motion, as a very ghostly kind of place, where you don't even have your physical body. It's actually not the case. Well, it is true between death and, well, it's true after death, you are still, some of you subsists in some way. It's you're incomplete. During the final resurrection, you get your body. Your body is actually molded back into a glorified eternal state where you kind of live on. And what a lot of early fathers believed was hell is having your body, but in the presence of God, full and glorified. So if that is the case, people who are in hell and heaven are in the same place, but to them being in the presence of God invokes a totally different reaction. To those who are saved, it brings out the best of internal reaction. To those who are not, it brings out torments.
Sort of like you can't be evolved enough to appreciate God or on the same level as everyone else, being like a primate compared to a human.
In a sense, yeah. There's some conception that there's an eternal becoming, if you will, where it just gets better and better. That's why hell doesn't become boring. But because something could excel at an infinite rate, infinities aren't possible, at least as far as I think. Now, and it's indefinite. Now, what's fairly interesting is there are Catholic theologians who believe that it's possible that all could be saved. Not that it will happen, but it's possible, and the faithful can have expected hope in this possibility and pray for it, and encourage it in ministry, in good brotherhood, in charity, in whatever. And that's what I strive for. I mean, that's my conception. I do think it's possible that God is able to save everyone, and I do pray for that, but at the same time, we don't consider it as absolute because it doesn't negate people's will or final or choice in the matter.
Yeah. Cool. I don't know what to say to all that.
Do you mind if I give you my Skype? Because I have a lot of questions, but I read lips a lot better than I hear because I'm hearing impaired. So, like, maybe when you have a bit of time, I could discuss this with you because I have a lot of questions and I'm trying to figure a lot of stuff out.
Well, if you like, I could give you some good websites, ones that I usually visit, and here's a website of someone who's far better at this than I am, someone who's a Catholic priest, very much smarter in philosophy and in science. Let's see, Father Robert Barron. He has a website called
Word on Fire.
Word on Fire, yes. Terrific guy, very likable. You could ask him whatever question you want. Of course, I'm usually on the Hangouts. You could friend me. If you'd like to send me a message with your questions, I'll try to field them as best as possible.
That would be awesome. Thank you. What I was explaining to the other people in the room was usually when I have asked questions before, because I suffer from mental illness, people have just brushed me off as crazy and not wanting to discuss it with me because of that.
Oh, terribly sorry about that.
To find people like you guys that are willing to kind of help me understand this is like really awesome.
That's what.
So Epi, we did touch on, I think, divine hiddenness, or at least Matt Slick kind of alluded to it. Why wouldn't? Is it, now maybe you'll say it is from a theological stance, and that's cool. Is it unreasonable for me to say, hey, God, I just want this. I want you to do this thing, and then I will know you exist. Why would that be unreasonable? When I could do it, if I said to Mindy, I said, Mindy, can you give me $5? And
Sure.
she'd be like, yeah, I could give you, right? She'd be like, yeah, sure, right? Or I'd say, can you give me a hug? And she'd be like, yes. Because we're friends, we like each other, right? So why is it that if I ask God for like the same thing, it's like, oh no, you're asking God to bend to your will? No, I'm just asking for the same thing that I would ask for anyone else. If you care about me like I'm being told, why is this unreasonable? Am I getting it wrong? What is, you know what I'm saying?
You know what? I'll do you one better, and I'll tell you how Matt Slick Matt Slick would have probably answered it maybe much better than he did.
You'll answer it in a better way.
Actually, that's actually a very cool name, Gregor Mendel. So,
hey, what's up?
Matt Slick is a Calvinist, so he believes that anyone who is saved and has knowledge of God's existence already does. God picks out who he wants saved.
Right.
So God elects people. If you're not elected to salvation, then God just didn't choose you.
He dodged my is Calvinism the best way. He totally didn't. Oh well.
Yeah, but that's,
what is Calvinism?
Okay, Calvinism is a doctrine of Reformed Protestants back after the Reformation in the 17th century. They have 5 doctrines called that can be spelled out in this acronym: TULIP. The T stands for total depravity. The U stands for unconditional atonement. Sorry if it's misspelled. The I stands the L. Oh, sorry, not unconditional. Sorry, unconditional. Sorry, the U stands for unconditional election, not atonement. Unconditional atonement. I mean election, not atonement. The I stands for. See you, Kazumi. The I stands. Not the U. The L stands for limited atonement. The I stands for irresistible grace. And the P, that stands for preservation of the saints. So, total depravity means that mankind is inherently sinful and that they can only do wrong. That whatever they do is sinful if unregenerate. Unconditional atonement, election, means that people are elected without condition. It's nothing that you do that saves you, but rather it's God doing everything. He's electing you from the beginning, and that's why you're saved. The L stands for limited atonement. That means Jesus died not for everybody, but for those who would be saved. So Jesus doesn't die for everyone, but dies for a few people, or those who would be saved. Irresistible, or in the church. Irresistible grace stands for the fact that mankind is unable to refuse God's grace or forgiveness. God is so awesomely awesome that if he was to forgive you and give you his grace, you could do nothing but accept him. And preservation of the saints means that anyone who is elected will never succumb to temptation and will never, and even though he might disobey God out of apostasy for a short time, that person will always return to God if he was a saint to begin with. So preservation of the saint means just that. The saint is preserved or always saved until they die. That is Calvinism to a T, or to a tulip, or to a petal, whatever. And that's essentially what Matt Slick holds to. So if that is what Matt Slick holds to, then divine hiddenness doesn't really work for him. Yeah, original sin is mostly what happens, but it's been a taken doctrine from the church since the Council of Orange back in the 4th century. But returning back to the concept, Matt Slick would be kind of immune to this criticism of God being hidden because, he's totally unhidden, but just to me and everyone else who is saved, you're just not saved, thus you wouldn't even know it to begin with. So God is not hidden, for all intents and purpose.
Wow. So basically, if I understand you right, Epi, and tell me if I'm wrong, because, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so basically, when Matt wouldn't give me one of the 3 things that I asked him to, instead said, it's all subjective, blah, 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 basically he went against Calvinism.
Well, no, he just wanted to play presuppositionless word games with you.
Right. Well, but that's going against Calvinism.
Well, you can still hold to Calvinism, but not
his whole complaint that my worldview wasn't coherent, blah, blah, blah. So he was doing the same thing. All right, cool. All right, thank you, Epi. I'm even more right than I was before.
Well, I appreciate you explaining it to me. And if you look in the comments, Zaliath is saying, how do they know man is inherently sinful? The Bible? Why should I accept the Bible if there's no corroborating evidence for this claim?
All right, so there's so for Calvinists, they would even just say that your comment wasn't even needed. So if you were a true believer, then you wouldn't need the evidence. God's Spirit would just move you to believe this. However, if you were an unbeliever, then of course you're going to reject it out of hand. You're totally depraved and you're unable to come to this conclusion yourself. So really there is no need to accept or reject evidence.
Wow.
So they just bury their head in the sand?
Well, not really. For them it's kind of esoteric. So if there is a God and he is electing people and he is hidden, but he's electing whoever he wants to know, then his Spirit is moving him towards doing that. And if you just don't have the knowledge, then you just don't have the knowledge.
Right. Sorry, somebody.
That's actually why presuppositionalism is popular in the Calvinist community. They have to compare worldviews, and rather than they usually wind up comparing worldviews as opposed to just discussing the evidence outright or discussing any evidence outright, because they know that it boils down to, well, I just accept this on God's revelation to me, not on anything you're telling me or not telling me. And if you are a fellow Calvinist, you would just, or a fellow Christian and elect, you would see how.
What would be your response? I mean, if I say, okay, God, whatever you are out there, just give me this. From your perspective, why isn't God giving me that? Or do you think that I'm missing it or asking too much? What am I doing wrong here?
What are you doing wrong? Okay, what you're doing, well, you're not doing anything wrong. What I would suggest is that there are ways to, that first and foremost, God can be known in, the existence of God can be known through various forms of argumentation. At least I would posit that. But, however, knowledge of Christianity, that's something that is moved by God. That is something that we are moved by God's grace to accept. Like the Calvinists, Catholics actually hold to fairly much the same concept. However, we would still cite outside evidence to say that our claims are valid. Now, why is it that God works in this way? Well, we actually believe that defending our faith on an intellectual level, rather than going for the direct evidence, is actually a form of communion with God. When we ascribe to know God through the natural world and what we can infer, we in a sense become in communion intellectually with Him, rather than just relying on direct evidence that's available to everybody. But, however, someone might counter by saying, yeah, but this is kind of a life or death issue. Our whole salvation is on the line. And to that I would just posit a form of inclusivism. Christian inclusivism states that it's possible for God's grace to save somebody through open-mindedness, through a willingness of seeing the evidence, and through a person honestly seeking. Jesus does say, and I quote, seek and you shall find. And even if you don't find in this world, it could still be the case that if you are honest, you could find it in the next world. And that's not a notion of being separate from God. You could still be an honest seeker, and that could be given to you by God's grace. But then again, God's grace could be given to the faithful as well, those who do believe. And you'd have no inherent contradiction.
Right.
So it would just be incumbent upon both the theist who is moved by grace to deal and reason with those who
Am I still here?
Yeah.
I'm here. Okay. I guess I'm trying to see if you actually kind of agreed with Matt or not on this, which was like, okay, if I said, God, you gotta levitate my stuffed cat for me to believe you exist. And Matt was basically, you can't demand that of God. Why not? Because he's God? Why not just do that thing? That's all I'm gonna ask. I'll be happy. That's it.
Levitating my O. Henry bar, is that evidence enough?
What? No, it's gonna be my cat over here.
Damn it.
It's gotta be something under my control.
You thought you had him
converted,
man.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, why doesn't God do that? Oh, well, I would believe that's because for God, He gives the church, because God gives that responsibility of people finding out about Him to the church, not Himself directly. And that's in a way a form of intellectual communion those of us in the church have with God. And that's to be His representative on an intellectual level, and to argue from nature and abstract argument as opposed to direct empirical evidence.
Okay. Well, but I want Him to do it, so come on, God.
So
just do it.
It's
Dang it.
form of intellectual communication, right? You call it divine revelation.
Well, communion doesn't mean... Okay, so communion doesn't necessarily mean communication. Communion just means, in a sense, being one, or acting as one, or coming closer to something. So we believe we're coming closer...
Empathically instead of intellectually.
Yeah, we're coming closer in an intellectual level. So as for the reason why God isn't levitating your stuffed cat, He's not a magical genie.
Alright, look, I'm not asking for $1 million. I just want the thing to levitate. Dang it. I could understand, but...
So you want him to break the laws of nature so your cat can levitate?
Yes!
I think that's even harder than... I think $1 million...
He made the rules. He can break them. I don't care. Just do it. It'll make me happy. Come on.
But you said it like it was no big deal. I merely want God to bend the laws of nature.
Come on. You did it with Jesus and stuff. Come on. Be a pal. Come on. I don't know, but yeah, you can rationalize it, and I totally, I'm not trying to be hard on you, Epi, or whatever. I'm like, look, if you're not gonna give me that, then give me something. And what was weird is you would have gone to an argument, I think. If I'd said to you, give me evidence, give me a test, give me an argument, you would have given me an argument, right? At least.
Right, at least an argument.
He didn't. He was just like, oh, those are subjective things that you're wanting. I'm like, well, what else is there? How can I know this is true unless I have something to go on? Right? Am I wrong? I know it was precept, but I was like, how is that? Tell me what I'm missing here. If I don't have a system, then okay, now what? Well, you have to know because God. I'm like, okay, but how do I know that's true? How do I know it's your God? Of course,
circular reasoning.
They couldn't answer it. Of course, they couldn't answer it. Epi could, because Epi knows some logic. He could answer to a degree. He might have a few logical fallacies. I never did analyze or debate it, but you used
the argument from... I used the argument from Desire coupled in with the argument from the Resurrection.
Right. So, wasn't that from C.S. Lewis, or was I wrong?
The Desire part was from C.S. Lewis, but the Resurrection argument was from Gary Habermas. But
okay.
I didn't use them as they used it. So. Right.
Yeah. So.
I combined them.
At least you're trying. See, you and my brother are like the only ones I know that are trying to make new arguments. I'm tired of these arguments. Like, come on, come up with something new, people.
Did you read that Aquinas book I sent you?
I am working on. Where is it? It's on my desktop. It's right here. Let's see. Where are you? Wait, that's not it. Kevin Naming and Necessity.
No, that's Saul Kripke.
Oh, here it is. Edward Fraser. Aquinas Beginner's Guide. Yeah,
that's the one.
Yeah, I need to read that.
That has some pretty good evidence, and it's well defined too.
Alright. We'll see about that. No.
If by argument you mean mental gymnastics, look at my video, A Crazy Idea, back when I was still a deist.
I'll look at it. I'll tell you how many logical fallacies.
Oh, I'm sure you'll find a lot.
Well, as long as the argument is valid and sound, you're pretty much set.
Was I Greek? Tell me, and again, I've been asking everyone this because, hey, the more feedback I get, the better I can know if I'm right or wrong, right? Can logic change?
Can logic change? No, but it can be well, logic doesn't change. I prefer to think of logic as something we discover more and more. I think of it along the same lines as any kind of physical discovery. It's something that as we put into practice more, we learn more about it.
There you go. That's so. If because of quantum physics, we said law of identity doesn't work anymore, we got to have a new thing, and whatever that is, I don't know what that would be, but let's just call it Bob. So we have Bob now. Right? That's the new thing because quantum physics screwed up the old thing. And you're fine with that, right?
Well, okay, in terms of quantum physics, there's already a thing called quantum logic that tries to dictate it.
Right. But I mean, as far as informal logic, if we had to change the rules to fit reality, you would be okay with that, right?
Would I? No, but it would depend. I'd be very hesitant to go from classical logic to a new form of non-classical logic, but I would. But for example, there are other things such as De Morgan's law that we discovered far afterwards. And besides the notion of that quantum mechanics changes logic is still
I know it is. I know. But they couldn't. once I said logic can change, they were all over the map. Oh, then that means blah 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 blah, and there were appeals to consequence like crazy. And it's like, look, if we find out reality is different, we have to change to accumulate, to adapt to that. Why is that so hard? Why is that so bad? I don't get it. What did I, maybe I said it wrong. I don't know. Well, anyways. Let's not harass Epi too much with questions. I know you guys love to ask. Epi, host your own hangout and answer questions. Dang it, this is about me and my kicking out of.
Okay, I'm sorry. Sorry, Zilla.
Stop hogging it. What about me?
I really appreciate you taking the time to answer some of my questions.
I know. No, I'm sorry. No. I'm fine with it. I just don't want him to feel like.
I can't believe it's like
with simple mind. I'm sorry. Go on.
Oh, go on. I think you were going to say, I think you were going to say something along the lines that Aristotle said about the test of a quality mind of a good intellect is the ability to hold on to an idea that you don't agree with.
There you go.
Something along those lines.
Yeah. But he didn't like it. I was like, I don't care if Plato and whatever existed. I don't care. Who cares? Because I really don't care. Because it didn't have anything to do with what we were talking about. He didn't get that. I'm like, look. I always mix up the two. Who is it that's written about the other guy? You know this because you're more into philosophy than I am. Was it Plato? Is it Plato, or is it who is it? You know what I'm saying? The guy.
Socrates wrote about Plato.
Okay.
No. Actually, no. Plato wrote about Socrates.
You're right. Sorry.
Okay, so Socrates never wrote anything on his own that we know of.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Socrates could be fictional.
Yes.
Could be, but it's very unlikely. Most people are well in agreement that Socrates existed.
Well, but
plus there's two sources. Plus there's not even Plato. There's also someone else who wrote about Socrates as well.
Okay, but still, what I'm saying is, ultimately, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter if he existed or not, because the ideas that are there are still good. Whether the guy existed or not is irrelevant. But I'm saying, if you want to be skeptical of that particular historical figure, there's nothing to say that position is wrong. And they didn't like that.
Well, historically speaking, it isn't. It's important historically speaking because history does try to get to the point of what actually was the case in the past.
The majority of historians agree that he existed. I'll go with that, because they know better than I do. But that doesn't make it true. I can still be skeptical of it if I want to.
And scientists agreeing on a principle of the world around us also doesn't make that the fact of the world around us, but it's just what we're most justified in believing.
Right.
Considering what evidence we have on hand.
Right. They didn't like science either. How do you know science? Blah blah. I was like, oh, come on, guys. Molecula is here.
Hello.
Molecula. This is Mindy, Midnight Goddess. You need to hook up with her and talk to her and stuff, because you two have common things which I don't want to say in live public chat necessarily, but you all need to talk in private and such, okay? So do that.
Is it the fact that we're both Canadians?
Yes, that's totally it.
That's what.
They're not aliens. Yes,
they're not
aliens.
Both of them are not aliens at all.
I put my Skype name in the chat if anyone wants to add me.
Anyone that thinks that they are aliens is part of the government.
So,
I wish I was an alien.
Molecula is totally not an alien, making me say this.
Can someone go on camera and pronounce the name for me so I can read their lips?
I don't have light here.
Give me a sec so I can see if I can get it working.
Sorry, I'm hearing impaired. So.
Oh, it's so. Let's see if my camera's working today. Where is my camera? My camera's over there. So, I am facing my camera, I hope.
Yes.
Yes.
It's McKenna.
One more time?
McKenna.
McKenna.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much.
I'm gonna keep saying it wrong.
Just say Mick. That works.
I want to say it wrong.
You say my name wrong all the time, hun. So.
My world, damn it! I want to say it my way. I can lie. I don't care. Whatever.
Yeah, I'm just turning off camera because I'm moving about a lot, trying to clean, and I just got home from game and whatnot. So.
You're half naked.
No. I'm still wearing pants.
Whatever. I'm just assuming everyone's naked.
Okay.
You got that right.
Okay.
Especially the people that aren't.
I'm naked under my clothes.
If you wear clothes that are transparent, are you naked?
Technically
That's a
not.
good question.
Because you have something on you.
Okay, this was earlier. Okay, at what point, Epi will love this, at what point I drop a penny does it cease to become mine?
The point you stop caring about it?
Well, I drop a penny, does it stop being mine the moment it hits the ground? Or, how long...
It depends if you walk away from it or not. If you've abandoned it, it's not yours.
Are we counting the 5-second rule?
What if does it matter the increment? Like if it's $20 or $100?
So
does the amount matter?
Well, I'm just going to go with the rule that possession is 9/10 of the law here. If you possess something, meaning that you care enough about it in order to protect it and guard it as being yours, then yeah, it is yours. So if you drop a penny, and you just stop caring about it, then yeah, it's not yours. If you drop a penny, you leave it, and somebody else comes back and somebody else picks up, it's not yours because you forgot about it or didn't care about it enough to possess it, and it was too late. You drop a penny and you care enough to pick it up, yeah, it's still yours.
Yeah, 3 or 4 times I've found like $20 bills hanging out of ATMs, and I took it every time because $20. And I thought, well, I was thinking about this like the other day for I don't know why. I was like, well, wait a minute. I could have written down the time of day, called it at the bank, and been like, blah, 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 this location, yada, yada, and gone through the whole song and dance. But at the end of the day, unless the other person that lost it calls in too, the bank's just going to take that $20. So, the person that lost it's never going to get it. So it's mine now. It was theirs, was the bank's, but now it's mine. You got screw the bank. If I knew who it was, I would help them, but screw the bank. Everyone agrees with that.
No, see, the reason you took it every
Bank of
time.
America.
The reason you took it every time is because you're a moralless atheist. That has to be it.
I was actually a Christian when I did this, so.
You were not a real Christian.
Oh, man.
Damn, she got you there.
Let's see if I can get all the tropes going.
Well, you didn't
It's
see
because
the
he has a mental illness. That's why he recorded it.
Molecular, you didn't see the talk I did you? Or because you were at
No,
work?
I was at game, and so I got the notification, and I'm like, oh, I hope this is still going when I get home.
We had
game?
severe technical problems, so it ended at some point in time that I'm not aware of, and I don't want to listen to myself talk. But that wasn't. It didn't kick me out or anything. When it ends abruptly, it's technical reasons. I did eventually get kicked out, but it was I totally deserved it.
I'm playing a Dresden Files RPG.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, which is really fun because I'm having to sit there and lecture the GM on the various demons of the Christian and Jewish pantheon because he's trying to use the supernatural ones from the TV show.
I
Oh,
love
God.
Jim Butcher.
I'm like, no, you're using
Okay,
these ones.
look,
And
this is
the DM.
Look, I want to be a wizard, okay? Can I be a wizard? Just let me know. Yes, I can be. Just a yes.
Yes, you can be a wizard in that
Okay.
game.
Alright. Can I learn the spell of create familiar?
More than likely.
Or not create familiar, charm familiar? Can I learn the spell of retrieve object that I've thrown back to myself?
Yeah, it's basically open-ended gaming.
Okay, wait, I'm not done. I'm getting somewhere with this. Just go along with me on this ride. Can I get a spell of shrinking things?
Yeah, diminutive size is a skill.
And expanding as well, right? Okay.
Yep.
Can I buy a metal orb that is hollow on the inside?
Yes.
Can I put a hinge on it?
You are not allowed to divide by 0.
No. Can I put a hinge on it so it opens and closes?
Yes.
Okay. Is there paint? Can I paint this?
Yes, and I'm having a feeling that you're going to go for Pokemon Master.
I'm painting it red and white, and I'm throwing it to capture the dragon, and I have Charizard now. Yes, that's right. I am a Pokemon Master in a game. That's all I want to do. Okay.
I am actually
my character
tempted,
now. I don't care anymore.
I am tempted to use that against my DM now.
As someone who is a DM for a lot of games, I would love if someone came up to me with that kind of scenario because I'd have so much fun with it.
I also wanted to be a giant gelatinous cube, and finally I was able to, so I went around, ate people, and then exited the dungeon. I was like, okay, my life is complete now.
Oh, it could be worse. My husband's actually banned from buying livestock in games because what he did was he bought all the sheep in this one town and sent them into the dungeon before they went in so that everything was fed, all the traps were triggered, and they just walked in and took all the loot.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it's fun because my hubby and I are actually both longtime GMs, and so when we start getting bored during game, we play a little thing called Break the GM.
I love games like that because I've been a GM for I've been GM for LARPs, for D&D, for Pathfinder, for Vampire the Masquerade, like all sorts of different things. And when someone tries to play Break the GM, it's fun because I can usually break them.
Yeah, we actually have a running thing because somehow in this game, nudicles keep getting brought up, and so we're actually we have a timer for how long it takes before they get brought up.
like
a
game or something.
It's the nudicles game.
Am I seeing things, Mick, or does the way you've done your hair in your portrait look like a map?
I think you're just seeing things. It's just a stamp I made out of my actual picture of my hair.
Wait a minute. I think she's onto something. It's a map of her home planet. It's all coming together now.
The Warshock test. What's whatever you think it is.
No, wait. If you flip it upside down, oh my word. It's all true. It's true.
Yeah, there's a running joke about the whole aliens thing.
Mindy knows. She watches all my stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Which is still funny because that video, by the way, thank you for that, DM, because that shot me up like 50 subscribers.
Oh, good. I was hoping that would be what the 1 Minute Skeptic would do for everyone, too. That anyone that did that would get some subscribers and stuff.
Oh, speaking of which, I need to finish editing the audio file, but my husband's response to what is logic, or why should we use your logic, is the one you originally did.
Oh, I already did that. Yeah.
So, what is truth is the one that we did for a 1 minute skeptic.
That works way better because I did that forgetting that he was going to do that. I totally apologize. But yeah, I need that like ASAP because I'm supposed to do it Sunday and it's not Sunday now, but I'll put it up at any rate. So ASAP, do it now, hurry.
Yes, I'm working on it. He's actually
faster
giving part of the answer that he received when he was in seminary before he got kicked out.
Cool.
What was he kicked out of seminary for?
Asking too many questions. We're not going to add into the fact that he was fucking the pastor's daughters.
Yeah, that would do it.
Yeah. But it was mostly asking questions.
I don't know. I think that
go forth and multiply.
The
or at least practice.
Oh, in the case of practicing, he doesn't need to practice anymore.
Which seminary
Has
was it
got him
anyway?
trained.
It was Portland Bible College, I believe.
That's a party college.
No, Party College is where I went to seminary before they turned into buy your degree, which pissed me the fuck off.
Oh, how much is it? I could just buy a degree. That sounds good.
That would actually insult me because the degree that I earned, that I spent 11 years earning, they made to the buy one.
Look, it's not about you. It's about me and my fake degree.
And the voice is in bed.
No, but I can understand what you mean, McKenna. Like, I spent 5 years becoming an ordained pagan minister, and now people can just go online and in 30 seconds become a minister. It's like, wow, I spent 5 years doing this.
Yeah, I actually went to, when they had it as a monastery, I went to the actual monastery and started learning from, it was the Universal Life Monastery. And then they converted into this online thing while I was going, and I'm like, okay, well that helps because I'm moving. So I'm taking the online courses. I realize they're not accredited. I'm already too far in. I'm like, oh, let's just keep going. It's education. And then I complete my degree, and I'm like, yes, I've got my degree. It's in the mail. It arrives. And then I go online to fix a spelling on my name, and they're like, buy your degree. And I'm going, fuck you.
Yeah,
Wow.
like the Universal Church is where I got mine from, and like I paid the tuition and studied and all of that, and now you can buy it for $20 on their website and in 30 seconds, and I'm like, wow, I'm beyond insulted now.
Quick question. Were your degrees in biblical studies or were they in systematic theology?
Divinity.
Oh, interesting.
So it literally is a useless degree unless you're going into priesthood.
Well, there's always Unitarian Universalism. You don't have to believe in anything.
Yeah, I'm actually now going back to school for sociology and psychology, so I can basically do the sociology and psychology of religion.
Oh, congrats! I'm currently working on I'm working on my master's degree right now in religious studies. Comparative religion, not any theological stuff.
Oh, comparative religion was my favorite class.
No, it's very fun.
Yeah, they only offer, at the college I'm going to, because it's just a community college, they only offer really 2 religious courses right now. And one, I'm not driving 26 miles one way every day to take. And the other is religion and ecology, which was really cool because it studies world religions and how the religion impacts the ecology and how the religion impacts the world and everything. It's really cool because it's like the religions that say you are part of nature tend to have a more of a preservation viewpoint than a dominion viewpoint and things like that.
See, that's how I was raised on my dad's side of the family, to put back into nature what you take from it, be the best you can, help others, preserve nature for the future generations. And on my mother's side, Roman Catholic. So that's where all my confusion comes from. So.
Oh, definitely.
I'm actually converting to Roman Catholicism. I'm not actually one as of yet.
Through marriage or?
No. I find their theology and I find their theological framework to be the most convincing.
No, man, Lobsterous. You should convert to Lobsterous.
Funny enough, here's an objection. I'm sorry.
You're converting to Roman Catholic?
Yes. But so here's an example people don't make against Protestants that I've always made, and it seems to work for me. And I think it could work for anyone, really. Care to hear it?
Sure.
Yes, please.
Right. So, sola scriptura is by definition the doctrine that for any truthhood related to faith, or related to one's faith, it must be found in the Bible. Or any doctrine, or anything that exists as a doctrine, must be found in the Bible. Sola Scriptura is not founded in the Bible. So there is no place in the scriptures where it says only use scriptures to derive doctrines.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, so the position that we only use the Bible is self-refuting. So a Catholic such as myself could easily state, well, that's not the case for us. We actually, we believe that it's found in tradition, and tradition itself does state that we can find it in tradition and in the scripture. So it's so tradition isn't so coming from a basis of tradition and scripture, it's not self-refuting. However, if you're a Protestant, it is self-refuting. In fact, that's the argument I used against G-Man when me and him debated, but he couldn't comprehend it.
Well, G-Man is
Not surprising.
Much.
G-Man's also the same person who thinks that because there's a opening to a podcast that Alex Botten is part of, that makes him a pathological liar.
Yeah, I have my own problems with Alex Botten, but that's not one of them.
No, but you know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of logic G-Man uses. He confused me. I started watching him to see if I could get some answers, and he's probably one of the people who's confused me the most.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I could definitely see that. Debating him was very frustrating because I knew the exact passages he would bring up, and I refuted them, but he just kept bringing up the same points. And
how I was a turd of an idea he has, and it's like he's a genius. It's still a turd no matter how you polish it.
Some people have. We all have the proclivity to try to stick to our own ideas, some more than others. So as for me, so that's the main reason I'm not a Protestant. I think it's very hard to justify the Bible when the Bible doesn't even justify itself. There has to be an outside source holding it up. Another way of going about this is just to say, well, there's nowhere in the Bible where all the books of the Bible in it. Sure, you have the table of contents, but your table of contents is hardly inspired. There is no place in the Bible that says, here are the official books, and you should not deviate from any of them.
Well, yeah, that's a big one, especially with.
Like, is that important? Like,
well, if it's if the doctrine is sola scriptura, you can only believe in doctrines that are found in the Bible, and Bible canon is not found within the Bible, then you have no Bible canon. But because in order to develop a Bible canon, you must have a methodology. Even having a methodology that's doctrinal and binding would require you to find it in the Bible, which is what you're trying to set up in the first place. It's trying. I set up the analogy of saying it's like trying to get your car keys out of your car when they're locked inside.
Break the window.
Well, yeah, tradition does that. But
do Protestants believe in the divinity of Mary?
Some do. Well, Catholics don't even believe in the divinity of Mary.
Roman Catholics do.
No, we believe that she's a saint. She's not divine. Divine means she's God, which she isn't.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm also French, so divinity means something different for me. So what I mean by divinity is that she is held, like, you know, the prayer, Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners. Like, she's held to a higher pedestal than, and she's someone that you can look to for comfort and for blessing in the Roman Catholic faith. But I know, like, the Lutherans don't.
I think in the French the word is vener. She is in French, I believe, if I'm going about this correctly. It's veneration.
Yes.
So there's a difference between being. So we recognize the difference between having reverence to Mary and worshiping Mary. So worship is something that's attributed purely to God, whereas having reverence is just a high accolade of respect. For example, the Jews had a high level of respect for the tabernacle and for the temple, but they didn't worship these things. Mm-hmm. They were, likewise, Mary is to the Catholic Church a symbol of the tabernacle because like the temple or the tabernacle where God was within, God was in Mary. So that's why she gets her veneration from.
Do you think that she was never, you know, I mean, what about poor Joseph? Did they get it on, or
no?
Just
according to according to Catholic doctrine, she was a virgin for life.
So Joseph kind of got the raw end of that deal.
Actually, funny enough, there's a book called the Proto-Evangelium of St. James, and in that story, Joseph is actually an old man, and Mary is a 13-year-old woman. And
yeah, Joseph is in his 90s.
So he couldn't.
It wasn't actually intended as a way to it wasn't intended to be a traditional marriage for consummation, but rather Joseph took that position to be a guardian over her.
Okay, interesting.
Although it's not historical by any means, but it would be one way to explain it without it being some guy getting the raw deal.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That's why I made the comment of, Jesus had two fathers and a mother who didn't sleep with either of them. And that's where part of my confusion is, because with the whole thing about homosexuality, I mean, he had two dads and a mom. Isn't that?
I get it.
That's a very funny way to think about it.
It's not making a joke. It's a legitimate question.
I know. I'm sorry. I got it. I finally got it into my head. What you meant by that. It struck me as funny, not because it's not serious, but it's how my brain.
Well, actually, homosexuality is strictly speaking, homosexuality is not a sin. So being gay or having tendencies to or having a desire to have gay sex isn't a sin. It's only engaging in gay sex, which is a sin. And for that that gets into, and that's because Catholics hold to what's known as natural law theory, at least for most of our history. So so you guys are familiar with divine command theory, right?
With what theory?
Divine command theory.
What?
No, I had a DC, and so I had to come back in.
Oh, okay.
No, I was waiting for him to finish talking, because I was going to say it's going to depend on the translation that you're using.
Yeah, I was going to say that I was doing a little bit of research, probably not as well as you could have, Malek, but it seemed like it was talking more about the temple prostitutes.
It's temple prostitutes.
Right.
If you're talking about Leviticus, if you're talking about Romans, it's talking about they were cursed to become that way. And there's like 3 other verses that are used that depend entirely on the translation. And if you're using the 1946, if you're using 1946 and later translations, that's the only time that the word homosexual shows up.
Yeah, what I would think is, based on what limited research I did, was that that this is nowhere near what we have today.
Yeah, it's temple prostitution for Leviticus, because if you read all of Leviticus, it's actually talking about temple stuff. And, like, don't sacrifice your babies, you only use this type of stuff. And I'm actually going to be doing a video on the sacrificing your babies thing, so.
McKenna, can I get the link to your channel? Because I would love to see that video.
Yeah.
Me too.
Hey, give me a sec, I'm doing some fun stuff right now. I'm trying to get my computer running again.
I always thought
Once again, she's naked.
I always thought the prohibition against homosexuality had more to do with population growth. In the Bronze Age, if you reached 30, you were considered a senior citizen. Anything that got in the way of people having lots and lots of children was considered bad for the tribe. You always
that's the other.
Yeah.
It's the social of the day, the social norms. You needed to have kids, especially since there was a population bottleneck back then.
We have freaking like 8 million people. I think we need to start having more gays.
Well, if you think about it, there is more of a prevalence of homosexuality now, either because people are coming out and being more open, or we just are having more people being born gay. And if you think about it, it could be Mother Nature saying, hey, slow down, stop reproducing.
It could be. I mean,
7 billion people. Yeah, I think we've hit it.
I'm gonna be right back. I just need to take my meds.
Okay, I put the link in the chat.
I'm gay for Epi.
I'm sorry?
I said I'm gay for you.
Oh. No, wouldn't be the first time.
If you ever decide, just let me know, man. It's all good.
I actually have...
You have to shave your beard, though.
No. Yeah, we can't have two of those in the relationship.
Yay!
Okay, actually, I have been hit on once before by a gay friend of mine. What happened was we were drinking, and it was the first time we met. We were drinking at my university. We were getting to know each other, having a very nice conversation. I think I might have accidentally let him on because I said, I could see why you find the male body to be pleasing. I find the male body to be aesthetically pleasing as well. I said aesthetically because I could see why the male body is attractive. I don't have any sexual attraction towards it. However, he must have got the wrong message. And when I was in his car, he offered me a sexual act, which I declined, and I was flattered, but we were off. And he was nice enough to drop me home.
I don't know. I think you does protest too much.
I'm not protesting too much.
No. See, the more you deny it, the more you're gay. That's how it works now.
Yeah, but that's unfalsifiable. Come on.
Oh, if you really want a fun one, DM, here's a fun one for you. I'm currently banned from Facebook because of some people, my lovely stalkers, who decided they were going to go on a reporting spree against me. And so what they did was they found me referencing an article about a pastor in North Carolina saying that homosexuals are going to bring about super Ebola. And I said, so apparently homosexuals are the cause of Ebola, and they cited me for hate speech, and so I'm banned for like 3 to 4 days now.
Wow.
I'm like, wait, I'm homosexual, and I'm citing an article.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Did you ever get around to watching that movie, Normal?
Not yet. It's been one of those.
You gotta, dude. I'm telling you, man, you'll love it. And if I'm wrong, you have to tell me.
Well, you need to watch The Devil as a Part-Timer on Netflix.
Fine. Do I have to watch it on Netflix? Because I have other places I can find it.
It's on Hulu and Netflix are the two places I know about it being.
I can find it somewhere. What was it called? Put it in the thingy.
Oh, well.
Okay,
it's
cool.
Funny.
Put it in the thingy.
Working at a Mig Ronald's.
Oh, that's anime, if I remember right. You're talking about anime show.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. I've seen part of that.
It's funny.
I'm still trying to watch this anime where that God has abandoned the Earth because it's just all screwed up. So people can't die now. So unless they get buried by a gravedigger. So like there's all these dead people walking around that are they act alive, but they're not really alive because they already had died. But the only way for them to die is to get buried. And I'm like, all right, this is great. I am so confused.
Oh, you mean Sunday Without God?
Yes.
Yeah, that's also on. That's on Crunchyroll right now.
It's great.
So, can I just bring this back to Matt Slick?
Sure.
No.
I thought that was the whole reason we came here.
But it's all Matt Slick's fault.
I don't know. Yes, of course. Yeah, go ahead.
I didn't even know who Matt Slick was until DM did his video series. Yeah.
Really? You've never been to carm.org?
No, I actually, as a religious scholar, in quotes, I'm very sheltered of creationism because I went to a very interfaith seminary and we didn't cover creationism because those were the crazy redneck people that we didn't talk about. And so I've been introduced to transsexual men don't exist. I've been told that. It's only transsexual women that exist and they're pedophiles. But let's see. I didn't know about Ken Ham. I knew about Ray Comfort because of a book somebody gave me. I knew about Joel Osteen because of watching The Secret and a few others. And then I knew about some creationists because of watching Ancient Aliens. But that was it. So,
it is on Hulu, so I'll watch it on Hulu. Alright.
I came back at an interesting time. All I heard was there's no such thing as transsexuals.
I have been informed that there is no such thing as a transsexual male, just a female who is confused and has penis envy. That was what was told to my face.
So
and I looked at them and said, "You're telling that to a man."
Damn you, Sigmund Freud.
Wow, I would have like spit on them or something.
Oh, they also told me that transsexual women are actually just men who want to rape women. So.
Oh wow.
There are a lot of radical feminists who, well, they don't hold that explanation, but they do hold that they are transphobic.
Yeah, they're called TERFs. They're wonderful. I got introduced to them ever since coming out.
Yeah.
They've come out of the woodworks on me.
McKenna, do you prefer the use of male pronouns when speaking to you?
I use mostly they or them nowadays because with the voices in my head, I do fluctuate between male and female.
Okay.
Oh. Well,
My main personality is male, but McKenna herself is female, if that makes sense.
So
I'm schizophrenic, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
See, I told you.
Wait.
You have a lot to talk about. If either of you want to go off air, say the word, and because I don't know how much,
Hey, it's your hang up. Call it when you want.
I'm half awake right now, so I don't feel like hopping to think.
I can just stop the broadcast because I don't know how much you all want other people to know all your stuff. That's just letting you know this is live. This is going on YouTube. So I can hide it later if anything else, but
No, I'm personally perfectly fine with people knowing my bizarrenesses because I think that the more people know that there are other people like them, the less outcast they feel.
Yeah, that's actually why I do a lot of my videos, like talking about my voices or the hallucinations or things like that, is so that people know that they're not alone, that there are other people.
I have OCD.
I did one video on rage issues myself. I understand what you're talking about. It's one thing to have a problem, it's another thing for the problem to have you.
Mm-hmm.
That is brilliant. Why couldn't I say that sort of stuff while I was talking to Slick? We're trying to get it back to Slick for Epi, but we're just not doing it.
Okay, if you like, I can tell you how to get around some puzzlers' precepts like these.
Nah, I mean, I'm good, man. I mean, if you want to analyze, like, what I'm asking, and I'll probably do a video where I just ask everybody in the video to listen to what I said and go ahead and tell me what logical fallacies, because I'm sure I made some. I'm sure I did, because I wasn't in a debate mode. I was in conversation mode. So but I want people to tell me, that stuff. I need someone else that's not me to analyze me. Okay? If you want to do that, go do that, but otherwise, I'm done.
Sort of like body odor, you don't smell it on yourself, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
And when you do, you want to take a shower.
Why is it? Am I the only one? Okay, I need to go off air probably.
You're talking about your body odor, of course.
Yeah, that pretty much, I think at this point would be a good time to end. So unless and until we have Matt, we must continue to have lobsters. I'm going to stop the broadcast and we're going to keep talking.